All right, welcome to another edition of Menu Heroes Digest. I'm your host, Steven.
And I am Jordan.
And before we get started today, a quick word from our not sponsor, Crash City Con. It's a little convention that's going to be happening in Roanoke, Virginia, October 15th to the 17th. And tickets, if you order them beforehand, are going to be $20, and I believe they're going to be around $30 at the door, but don't quote me on that. It's their first ever time doing this particular con, and so I'm excited for it. My mom and dad bought tickets, but they can't go, so I got one of the tickets and my aunt got the other, and Jordan's going to be going because he's volunteered.
I've enlisted. I've enrolled in the Pokemon War.
Yes, and I can tell you for a fact that one of the events they'll have is a Pokemon how-to panel and then a Pokemon card tournament. And I know this because I'm running both of those. Very excited. It's going to be the first time I've run something like this, something this big. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. And we aren't sponsored, by the way. I just, word of mouth. I'm excited for it. And I do want to state that the views mentioned in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of Crash City Con. Not to say that Crash City Con has bad values. I'm just saying, if we say an opinion, that doesn't mean they believe it.
We gotta make a disclaimer just so, nobody complains to them or sends them hate mail, whatever. You send all the hate mail to us, We ain't doing nothing. We ain't doing much.
Alright, with that out of the way, let's go on to our first story, which is about Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, or the remakes Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So as you can see from the tweet I've put up on the screen,
Yep.
These games are being rated PEGI 7, which is basically the E rating for us Americans. And hold on. So, like I said, PEGI 7 is basically an everyone rating. And like this person says, it potentially means no game corner. That wouldn't be surprising because they cut it out of the Let's Go remakes and they cut it out of the 3DS remakes as well.
Yeah, but it's been known it was gonna be PEGI 7 since for months now. It's only because the box art for the box, for the Switch box, has come out and it has the official rating on it for the UK.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think this should be that much of a shock. And also, I'll say this. I'll say I'm not as as doom and gloom about this as I think some people are. I think they'll find some other clever way to bring up the mini games and to bring up without having it being a full on casino or gambling thing. And I know Nintendo's new stance now is they don't want to promote gambling. They don't want kids addicted to gambling or get anywhere near that at that young age. I do understand that mentality. But also, if you're doing a remake, you could remake some things where you could play at least some of those games and have it not be gambling related.
I do want to say, somebody pointed out that they worked around this with Heart Gold, Soul Silver, where they had, card games instead. But it's not even Nintendo that's really against the gambling thing, because you still see it in Zelda sometimes. On the 3DS, there was a Link Between Worlds. There's the Treasure Chest game where you pay 50 rupees and you can either get 1 or 100.
Well, even then, I would say it doesn't resemble any the gambling games in the Pokemon games have been straight up casinos.
That's true.
The way you enter into the Gen 1 entrance for Team Rocket is a casino. And I'm pretty sure there's also casinos or like some kind of like little gambling center in Goldenrod City in terms of like the original Gen 2.
Yeah.
I definitely noticed there was no like casino or anything in the remakes to, like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And okay, we've gone to the segment of Lobby Nut. Should I just go ahead and tell everybody that I have never played a Gen 4 game?
Yeah.
Is that going to start us a flame war? Is that going to start some hate on the comments? But
I feel like we've mentioned that before.
I mean, I think I may have mentioned it. Like, I don't even remember if I mentioned it on the podcast. Now, maybe I can I'll if I have to re-listen to all the other episodes. But I could have sworn I haven't really talked about this in full. So it's like, honestly, I am not as attached to this gen as the other ones. Even like Gen 3 that I like, but I felt was the weakest of the first 3 gens. I still got a little emotional when I got a chance to play the remakes. And, had super fun with that, or saw what they could do, or what they did update, and what they still kept. And so I can only imagine the people who did love Diamond and Pearl and Platinum and are been waiting for a remake, have been waiting for the chance to see this region, the Shino region, in 3D. The designs did not make a lot of people happy. I didn't tell you mine because, again, never really was that invested in Gen 4, but I knew a lot of people were rather upset by the chibi designs for the characters. But I don't know. To me, so long as it's still a fun Pokemon game, and I think my one worry though is that it is going to be as challenging, because everyone has told me that Gen 4, the Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, they are some of the hardest Pokemon games out there, and I'm hoping that challenge is still there. If they want to have a mode to make it easier for young kids to get into first, that's fine. But it's like Nintendo. It feels like Game Freak is afraid to give newer kids any sort of challenge. Because I've seen Let's Plays of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Also, we got one here on the channel as well. I'm not in it, but I'm in the comments. Little plug right there. And I just look at that game, and it just seems so much easier than the games I grew up on. And that's not me trying to be a boomer, trying to say you kids have it too dang easy. I'm not saying that, but it just seems like most of the challenge that were in the earlier Pokemon games aren't around anymore, or have been nerfed a bunch. Am I crazy, or what do you think about that?
No, I think you've got a point. They don't want the games to be too hard, because then you stop playing them. But I agree there should be ways to adjust the difficulty for yourself.
See, I do remember Gen 5, they had an easy and a hard mode, but you had to beat the games first, as in beat the main story and the main story is involved in Elite Four. But you beat the game, then you get an option at the main menu to choose if you want to do, on hard mode or easy mode. And I'm thinking, why not just go ahead and do that very beginning? I should like to have the option to play on hard mode if I want to. Because I am used to these games. I love these games, but I'm so used to these games being a certain difficulty. And I like at least for the option to play it harder if I start the game up first, Like so many other properties, so many other franchises do that. I don't know why Game Freak is so hesitant to do that.
Who knows what goes through Game Freak's mind?
Something Klefki, something wheezing with a big top hat. That's what's going on in their heads.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I do like those. I do like Klefki and Galarian wheezing. It's just like It is silly some of the ideas they come up with,
Alright, so let's move on to our next story. We're going to skip over the one I listed second, just in the interest of time. Okay. So we're going to be talking about Pokemon Go now. So,
hooray! More Pokemon!
As some of you might know...
I'm not complaining, by the way.
In 2020, Niantic added benefits to Pokemon Go. There were walking requirements that were removed, discounted items in the shop, increased gift storage, increased spawn, decreased egg hatch distance, increased Stardust and XP catch bonuses, and they also extended the range at which you could spend Pokestops. And this was because we were going through a pandemic. We're still going through a pandemic, but you
don't say, Steve. You don't say.
But anyway, recently Niantic decided to reverse all of those and go back to the way things were before, because they want to encourage people to go out, walk around, and play Pokemon as it used to be. But a lot of people are up in arms about this, and I, for one, agree with the people. Because there's no reason to decrease the spin distances, for example. In fact, I argue that a lot of these changes they made the game more accessible to people with disabilities. My mom is disabled. She has one lung, COPD. It's hard for her to walk because her body has like PTSD from when she had a heart attack. She had quadruple bypass surgery. It's a mess. But anyway, with the increased distance, she was able to play from the car. And my mom loves playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And she cannot physically go out to walk to do it. She just can't do it. That's not something she's physically able to do. And so it kind of bugs us that they just removed these. It's like the whole working from home thing. Working from home opened up so many opportunities for people with disabilities. And it's to the point where people are fighting for the option to work from home now, because we've proven that it can be done.
Yes, we have. It'd be nice if I could do that, but unfortunately, warehouses don't do that.
Yeah, I work from home, but my work is babysitting Xander, so it's not really work. That's how we were able to do this channel.
I feel like I'm babysitting a bunch of grown adults at the job I work at, so I kind of feel you in a way. So, but seriously, it's at least, again, when you first send me this, I think, did I send you this or did I send you? Did you send me this or I?
You sent me this.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting mixed up the different stories I sent. I did offer Steven a lot of stories this time. Only one was Activision Blizzard, but we will not mention them this week. It's going to be Activision Vision. We're taking a little break. Taking a little break from that. And so when I first saw the story, or first saw the headlines, my first response was, oh God, are some people being against these provisions? Are these, because I first thought it was being a bunch of anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers getting upset. They're changing so much and are, somehow boycotting this just, because people are trying to take provisions. But no, it's the exact opposite. And I think that's a good thing. I think there are, as many people as there are, thankfully there are more people that are more concerned about this pandemic and this virus than there are people who just want to act like everything's fine or just get upset when anyone asks them to do the bare minimal. And here's people that are asking for at least the bare minimum of making sure everybody's safe, everybody's okay, and also the benefit of, hey, you get a whole group of disabled people, people with disabilities, able to play your game now. Why would you undo that? Even if you thought you were hoping that people would get outside, and that the Delta variant wouldn't be as big of an issue as it really is. It's getting worse.
Yeah,
this problem is only getting worse. And there's also the fear of the ligma, the lambda virus. That's coming. That's from South America. That's also coming over here.
I'm sorry.
Okay, it's some.
I'm sorry.
It's some version beginning with L. I probably got the wrong name for it, but it's. This is not slowing down, guys. This is still. We are probably going to be dealing with this for another year, perhaps 2, and it really frustrates me. So companies, you should be doing more. You should be making sure that how people play your games or get what you need or from you is done efficiently.
I do know. I'm sorry, I had to laugh earlier because you accidentally said the ligma virus.
I do, and I know that's a meme somewhere. I saw that. Yeah, you can all imagine your heads what ligma virus means, so I'm not going to say it.
It's so sad Steve Jobs died from ligma. Who's Steve Jobs? Oh, it's a meme. Anyway.
Yeah, you guys figure it out yourselves, okay? Yeah.
So
we're trying to keep this family friendly.
We will move on to our next story, which is about cheating. Yay!
Cheating.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, I was thinking about. Have you ever seen the show MST3K or Mystery Science Theater 3000?
I've seen bits and pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, they mainly make fun of like old movies.
Yeah.
Occasionally they'll do some old shorts. And I remember one PSA that was purely anti-cheating, and it's all about this kid in school who is getting good grades because he's cheating from a female student and everything, and she lets him do it and everything because I don't know whether she's peer pressured or she just kind of likes him or whatever. But basically, in one of the shorts, he's in a meeting with he's got into the school council meeting. And the joke from MC3K was, fellow classmates, I envisioned a cheating wing, and I still remember that. I remember that whole short that they did that makes me laugh every time I think of the word cheating. And also from SpongeBob, I'm supposed to be the Nickelodeon fan, but somehow I forgot. I'm cheating, cheater, pumpkin eater. No, I'm cheating. Okay, I could do the whole bit, but I'm not. All right.
All right. So, this third-party accessory is called the Switch Up, and for some reason it's blowing up right now. But I've known about it for 2 years, or ever since it came out. It might not have been 2 years. I don't know time. I'm bad at it. But anyway, what it does is it's got a bunch of basically macros on it, and it automates stuff for you.
Now, is this made from Game Shark, or is this a whole other company? Because I think it's brought up, and I do know Game Shark. Hey, when we needed some new controllers for whatever console we needed, Game Shark had a controller for that.
Game Shark?
So I was wondering if Game Shark. That is an actual company that makes a bunch of third-party controllers for not just Nintendo, but also they made some for PlayStation and Xbox. And we would usually get their controllers. Their controllers, I should say.
Oh, I didn't realize they made. Oh.
Yeah, Game Shark's.
You're thinking of.
Yeah, Game Shark's.
You're thinking of Mad Catz, who owns Game Shark.
Okay, so it's Mad Catz. Okay, I apologize, but I could have sworn one controller had the word Game Shark on it.
It's possible. I know Game Shark as the cheating device, like Action Replay. But anyway, some people are getting upset about this because it automates shiny Pokemon hunting. And the way it does that is it basically when you run into a Pokemon, it checks to see if it's shiny. If it's not, it runs away. And some people are saying, "Oh, well, shinies caught that way aren't legit." but I don't know.
I'm sorry, Steven. I'm already just not at you. I'm just at the people who say that because it really shouldn't be anybody's business how they get shinies. Yeah. You want a shiny Pokemon? I should be able to do it however I want. You know.
But you see, the Pokemon one, the Pokemon aren't being hacked in. They're in the code. It's just, you cut out some time. I don't know. It's a controversial thing. But another thing this little device does is it lets you use like Xbox and PlayStation controllers on the Switch.
Isn't that a good thing?
Yes. It lets you pair up any wireless Bluetooth controller.
Good, by all means, let's make it more convenient for people who are used to a certain controller. And I'll say one more thing about that whole... It's not legitimate if you use a hack thing, or if you use like a code thing, or Game Shark thing. That reminds me of people who get upset when you try and move forward in time in Animal Crossing. You're trying to get to new events or trying to get new things. It's like, let me play the game how I want, and let me be able to get items I want quickly, so I don't have to wait an entire day to get what new items or new things I really want, but I gotta wait a whole other day in order for some of the villagers to get this thing for me. Like, no, let's go forward. It's ugh. I didn't mean to go off the rails there, but it's like, let people be people. Let gamers be gamers. Let them do what they want. As long as it's nothing illegal or doesn't harass or harm people, like, who cares?
Gaming is gaming.
Yeah, exactly. Hear, hear.
Alright, so, let's move on to the Skyward Sword HD controversy.
Okay, so this one I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, so you might want to may not go into too much details, but just give the basic idea of it.
All right. There's not many details to give. It's very simple. For Zelda's 35th anniversary, they announced a remake of Skyward Sword. It's got a lot of quality of life upgrades, such as button controls, and you can skip cutscenes, and you can opt for less hints from your partner. Now, one of the other things they announced was an amiibo that is Princess Zelda, or I guess just Zelda, in her Loftwing. And the controversy surrounding that is that this amiibo unlocks fast travel, but it's exclusive to the amiibo. So it's behind a paywall, essentially.
Okay, I'm aware of how you could, I know how you could use your amiibos to scan in things with, the Wii U, but, can you do the exact same thing for Switch as well?
Oh, yes.
Because maybe you have done that before when you showed it to me, but I don't quite remember. But I thought that was just purely a Wii U thing.
But no, it's on the Switch. It's also on the 3DS, but if you have a regular one, you gotta buy an adapter. And good luck with that.
Okay.
But yeah, and the other part of this controversy is that the stock was limited, and so what there is available is being picked up by scalpers, and you know how scalpers are. They are some of the worst people in the world.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll cover this today, but we do have another story about scalpers. Basically, they are awful.
Yeah,
I hate them.
You know what? We'll jump on that scalper story real quick.
Okay, good, because I got some heat, got some fighter spit about that. But I think this is a controversy I do kind of understand a bit more. In terms of fast travel makes things so much easier, especially when you're going through a whole open world thing. And there's been plenty of Zelda games that I've played where I have been so thankful there's been some way I can easily fast travel to one place to another. Like, Windwaker's the best example. When I beat that, I mean, am I spoiling too much? But revealing there's a certain boss you have to beat in order to get this special fast travel thing, allowing you to go to different islands and everything. I don't know if it's... Am I spoiling too much by saying that, or...
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're spoiling too much, because you've already said it.
Well...
Don't...
Sorry, spoiled Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. That was back in 2002.
How dare you spoil a 20-year-old game?
I know, I'm the worst, right? I'm just as bad as Scalpers. Yeah, I just scalped all your mysteries of what this game is that either you've already played or you just had no interest in playing at all. So, all right, but yeah, man, it's always that thing where when a game has the accessories to do something, where it has some kind of feature to it, but you gotta pay extra for it, that's pretty scummy.
Yeah.
And that's not the same. It's not the same thing as like a DLC or added extra maps or levels, because that was something not in the original game. That was something that they added on later, an extra thing to make your game experiences, or to extend your game experience.
Yeah.
This is now whether or not this was originally in Skyward Sword back in Wii or Wii U, I'm not sure because I never played it. I'm just purely neutral on Skyward Sword. Might be fun, might be terrible, but I don't know. If it's something that...
It was a feature that was added specifically for this game.
Okay, alright, but... Okay,
like this remake, I mean.
I understand what you're saying. It does feel kind of...
You're already paying $60 for the game. And then you've got to pay like...
Or the remake of a game from another console, but a thing that could make the game go faster, or make all the tedious traveling stuff go by quicker. You decide you're going to put it in this item that you got to pay extra for, and also you don't make enough for people to get it. Like, at this point, you should know Scalpers are going to scalpel, and it's a terrible thing. But Nintendo, this is not the first time people have scalped your amiibos or your figures or any extra stuff you've done for your games or for your merchandise. You should be ready for this. You're not entirely to blame, Nintendo, but you're not helping. Is my feelings on this?
Yeah. So let's move on to the other scalping story, because I don't want to take too long. We're already at 20. We're already at 28 minutes.
I'm ready to crack some skulls, Steven. I'm ready.
Alright, so if any of you are Pokemon fans, and yeah, I know some of you are, especially the card game, this is going to make you mad. On the screen...
You know what? Even if you're just a regular person who likes going to your store and want it all nice and clean, or at least not a massive mess, this should just make you mad.
Yes, so...
And if you're just a customer in general, this should make you mad that people are getting away with this. Take it away, Steven.
People are opening Pokemon cards in store and then stealing them. As you can see in the picture, people are even opening like pre-made decks and taking cards out of that. Mm-hmm. And it's just... It's
I don't know if the...
it's infuriating, because it's not kids doing it, or they would have taken the whole thing.
I know.
It's grown adults who are doing this, and it even happens at my Walmart at home. Not to this degree, but...
I don't know if you got the picture up on the screen yet or not, but I'm looking at Screen Rant's page, and they have a picture, the caption, "Finally found some Pokemon cards at Walmart," and it's just like a shelf with a couple toys, and just covered in
water
energies, and a bunch of like little trainer card things about extra characters. I think like one card's a potion or whatever. But yeah, clearly a kid would have just grabbed the whole thing and run, or probably would have tried taking half of it, or like tried sneaking in, or tried getting in the one card they want. Like no. This was deliberately done by adults who just want to like pick all the cards they think are valuable, or things they know they can sell and sell at a high rate on either eBay or some other site, and just leaving a huge mess and just showing no care or sympathy towards any employees of that store or any customers that are trying to get some more. So they especially don't care about any of their customers. And they're constantly fighting in stores on people who want to get that new booster pack or that new deck that's coming out. Like, it's just humanity, man. Like, what have we become, Steven? What have we become?
Yeah, I would argue this is worse than scalping, because at least scalpers are buying the product before they sell it at stupid prices. These people are straight up stealing.
I mean, I still hate scalpers.
Oh yeah, no.
But you make I'm saying that at least they are paying money out of their pockets.
Yeah.
To get this thing, whereas somebody's just straight up stealing. This is a story about stealing, and it's infuriating. It's so infuriating. And I hope that there's cameras. I hope they put new cameras all over the store or all over the toy and game section, just so they can catch these guys.
It's people like these that are gonna make us go back into not selling Pokemon cards.
I mean, like every Barnes & Noble I've been at, they don't have. They tell you can only get the cards at the table, at the counter. You have to ask for it at them, and it sucks we have to do that. It sucks that we can't just simply be on a shelf, grab it, and just take it to the counter like normal, like any other thing at the store. That we've obsessed over these things in particular, and are just get into literal fights over them, over cards.
All right,
come on.
So we gotta go fast. So let's move on to Sonic 2.
All right. I just knew it. I knew you were about to beat into that. Let's get some real good news. All right.
I'll let you take it away.
All right. Idris Elba is joining a very different kind of squad. The Sonic sequel just found its Knuckles. Knuckles the Echidna is going to be in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and he's going to be voiced by Idris Elba, a guy whose voice is much better than mine. Expecting in theaters next spring, the sequel will also bring Miles Tails Prowler, and presumably featuring the return of Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik. The news broke when Elba tweeted on a not-too-subtle hint about his personal account, which was then retweeted by the film's official page. Polygon confirmed the casting with Paramount Pictures. And the picture is Idris Elba's page with knock knock and a detailed but still resembling the Knuckles fist in the game. So good on them. I would not want to live in a world where they tried the that terrible super detailed Sonic design from way back in early 2019, I think, or it was halfway through 2019. They had the trailer for that, and everyone hated that design.
Yep.
I'm glad we're past that point.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for this movie because I liked the first Sonic, so the second one should be good.
And I figured that the Knuckles would have an important part to it, simply because the opening begins with a bunch of echidnas trying to attack Sonic, and also that owl mother that he had, or owl mom he had, and they may not end up being the main villains of the story. It might be Robotnik might take a backseat. He's still going to be in the movie, but he might take a backseat, and we might see a more villainous kind of echidnas that are trying to use the Master Emerald for nefarious reasons. And of course, Knuckles would probably be the one to turn against them, or realize this whole thing is wrong. We gotta stop this before chaos is unleashed and everything. That's my prediction of what it could be, and I'd be excited to see that.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I got into Sonic not too long ago, so.
I remember playing the game back in 1993.
I wasn't even born.
It was probably not. Yeah, I probably was. I was just 3 years old. I was 2 years old when that came back then. It's no. It's probably 1995 when I really honestly played the game. Because I do remember playing games before I could read. I know that. So a lot of the stories for a lot of games I had no idea. But thankfully, a lot of the early games, you didn't need a whole long story. You can just pick up your controllers and play. And by all means, Sonic and Knuckles was one of my favorite games because you could switch between Sonic or Knuckles. Poor Tails did not have anything to do in that game, but hey, that game did introduce Mecha Sonic, not Metal Sonic, Mecha Sonic, and that's a difference.
Mecha, the Holy Land.
Yeah. And while normally hearing about a celebrity or a live-action film star getting into an animated movie doesn't really excite me all that much, I think Idris Elba is the exception because he has a very distinct voice. You can just close your eyes and he can be speaking and you know it's Idris Elba. You know it's him. And it has a very distinct, very deep voice that I was so trying to go for. Oh, fathers, give me one last chance to end this. Yeah, even I can't remember the line, and it's like, yeah. This is why you get Idris Elba, not me. Yeah, that's why you get him and not me.
All right. This last story.
I was gonna say one more thing. The Suicide Squad was great. He's amazing in it. Go watch it. Okay, if you are 18 and over, please go see the Suicide Squad. It is definitely worth seeing.
All right, so let's move on to this Cthulhu-themed Japanese tabletop game, and I'll let you take this over again.
All right. As soon as my phone freaking move. Okay, yeah, it was pausing for a minute. Okay, so you love RPGs. You love tabletop RPGs.
Yes.
But you don't want to do the simple fantasy stuff like you used to. You want to try something different. You want to do like H.P. Lovecraft stuff. You want to do cosmic horror. You want that Cthulhu stuff. But also you're a weeb. What do you do then? Well, thankfully, here at Madaratsu or Madarashi, again, I apologize. I may have got the name right. So Madarashi, the developer of the tabletop role-playing game Koki Sanmyaku.
It's called Mountains of Madness.
The Mountains of Madness. Yes. Okay, I was about to get that. It's the English name is the Mountains of Madness Summit of Evil Gods, and it was announced Sunday that they had launched a crowdfunding campaign in October to fund a 10-minute pilot anime film. That will be the first step towards an eventual anime film for the RPG. Madarashi stated that image board art and a script for the project are currently being drafted and that the developer is currently looking for collaborators. The Cthulhu mythos-themed tabletop RPG takes inspiration from H.P. Lovecraft's similarly titled book At the Mountains of Madness, and is the focus scenario that has players exploring and climbing a mountain in a horror-themed story. The standalone RPG has no direct connection to the Call of Cthulhu tabletop RPG, or Rob Delvio and Miguel. Guys, I swear I can say names right, but it's just some of these are a little harder than usual. I apologize. So we have Rob Devier, and Miguel
Coimbra.
Coimbra. Similarly titled Mountains of Madness board game. Sandy Peterson, that one I can say right, and Chaosism's long-running Call of Cthulhu tabletop RPG isn't one of the most popular tabletop RPGs in Japan, and it has been referred many times. It is. Wait, why did it? I swear that the thing said isn't.
They started to type isn't, but realized they meant is.
Okay, it's their fault, not me. Okay, let's get that on the record. I'm trying, guys. Please. I really was excited about this story. This sounded really interesting, man. I want to do it right. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's okay. Names are hard.
Yes, they are. All words are hard, really. New original scenarios continue to be published for the game. Japanese tabletop RPG players sometimes collect the events of their sessions into an edited prose format called a replay that they then sell with added art in conventions and events. Some of these replays have become popular enough to spawn anime adaptations, such as the Records of Lodius War and Chaos Records. And that last one, Records of Lodius War, that's a great anime. I highly recommend that. And as I said, like the art. I'm sure you've already posted that the main art the main art for this, and it looks really good.
It does. Yeah. You know that whole recording the sessions and then keeping them in an edited prose format. That's something I've always tried to do. When I used to do Homestuck role plays, I would record the conversations because we did it over text, and I had always planned on making stories out of them, but we just never finished the games.
Yeah, because look, I don't mean to dish out a lot of dirty laundry here, folks, but we have tried at least 3 or 4 times to get a tabletop RPG story off the ground. I would usually think of some elaborate character with a whole backstory, and at some point we just give up and just start over. And
I'm sorry.
Hey, I understand, dude. You had life things going on. You were going through some stuff. But I'm not going to lie, I did think of a lot of cool directions to take the character.
I know.
And right now I've got an idea for a story involving a fairy being chased by a boogeyman kind of thing. And that might be a story I might write, or we could do something for an RPG one day. But I'm just saying, like, I'm simply saying that RPGs have given me ideas for stories and ways to think about characters that I think has benefited me on the most part, and hopefully has benefited you in terms of like thinking about more detailed or more more ideas for stories or more story ideas. And
I mean, I really
by all means, I
really want to play a tabletop game with you guys. It's just DMing sometimes stresses me out, and there's also instances where the players just quit. Like what happened?
I will say that though, that we did have a problem with a couple people quitting on us when we were just getting a game started. That did ruin the whole feel, and we had to like really think about what we could do now because we really were relying on this character.
I had the dungeon designed around each character so that nobody felt left out, and he was just like, I don't like tabletop gaming as much as I thought I would. And then the next day, or a couple days later, I heard him talking to our coworker about how he was going to someone's house after work to play D&D, and I was like, oh, okay, well, if you didn't like me as a DM, you should have just said that instead of lying to me and telling me that, you didn't want to play. Or that you didn't like RPGs. Oof. But he and I also butted heads after I quit, because he was like, well, because I complained about my work, and he's like, well, it's your fault for not looking for a new job, and I'm like, well, I got a new job, what's your excuse?
Dang.
But anyway, this is gonna be it for today, and until next time, stay cool.
And open your mind to the mountain of madness.